Hello and welcome to the 2023 Highland Open first round back nine, presented by BobbyGitr Peppers and Discs. Our featured card is Aren Dow, Nick Reliford, Adrian Chevalier, Ted Carlson. As we find ourselves on hole 10, this is a 230-foot uphill par 3. Fairly technical because there are trees guarding the entire green. Low ceiling but uphill. Kind of the opposite of a few of the holes on the front nine where it was a low ceiling downhill shot. Now you have to try to beat the ceiling but keep pushing forward. There is an out-of-bounds sidewalk directly behind the basket. As Nick gets himself a very unfortunate kick there. Adrian Chevalier stepping up. I'm fairly sure he's flicking his yarn here. Just gets caught up a little bit, drops him short. He'll have probably 35-footer, I imagine. Tad going more the slightly faster forehand play, I think. Just a little low. And here we have Aren Dow. Backhand just turned it a bit too much without enough height. And these guys are all going to be putting from around 40 feet from the basket. This is a scary run. There is out of bounds right behind the basket, as I mentioned. Gives it a bid, but that did sit. He'll be fine. We have Nick putting for par after the out-of-bounds kick earlier and does not quite make it. He'll have a little bit of a tester coming back, but I think he'll be fine. Oh no, and Tad Carlson floats his putt just past the basket to the out-of-bounds sidewalk. Adrian lining up. Little over the top, but he stays in bounds. Nick is taking a bogey.
Kind of rolled, so like maybe just a little behind it here. Yeah.
Tad ended up a little farther past the basket than I even thought. So he's taking his meter in. That'll be a bogey for Tad. Quickly some separation. On the front nine, Tad and Adrian were back and forth, but now he quickly has a 3-stroke lead. Putts out. Hole 11, 610 feet. Par 4. OB sidewalk along the left side the entire way, but the golf fairway on the right is actually inbounds on this hole. It was not on a few of the previous holes. But the sidewalk does carry all the way along past the basket, where we'll find a lake on the right side as well. So the real tricky part on this hole is your second shot. Your first shot, you're trying to get as much distance as you possibly can, as we have Adrian Chevalier stepping up to do exactly that. This is pretty well smashed. Easily in the 450 to 500 foot range. He's going to have a very short upshot and probably can see the basket from where he is over on the right. There's Aren looking to match. Comes up a bit short. But that area left is just fine. You can do a little forehand upshot or a backhand kind of straight at it. There's more trees, a few more obstacles. Nick, maybe going roller again. And it's hard to follow that with the color of the leaves, etc., but it curled up over there. It's around where Aren's was, maybe a little short of that. We see Tad stepping up. And that'll do just fine. That's in that same area with Aren and Nick. You can see from the basket, this is fairly low ceiling. Oh. As soon as I say that. So Nick gets caught up. He drops. He's going to have a long way to make his third up and down. Aren? Maybe giving the ceiling a bit too much respect. He's going to be maybe 40 short. Let's see what Tad can do. Tad's going for the forehand route. For this play, you kind of have to go over the out of bounds for a moment.
Ooh, come on back.
Oh, and this looks turned.
Big skip. Ooh, that might not be good at all.
Ooh, a good little skip, a little roll. He finds himself in bounds. Circle one. Great approach shot from Tad. Here's Adrian's drive. Close enough. This is a Berg X approach, I believe, again.
Good shot, bro.
Just beautiful. Nick kind of just got up there and through. So that was about all we had for footage of that, but that was Nick. He's going to have a long look to save his par. Aren for birdie. Nothing happened, but it stayed pretty close. This is Nick's par look. Gave it a solid bid, just not his day to have it stay in. So we have Tad, the first of the birdie looks. Beautifully done. Nice bounce back after the unfortunate bogey the hole before. Aren cleaning up his par. Adrian also in for birdie. So he maintains the 3-stroke lead over Carlson. And if you're Dow or Reliford, you got to start feeling a little frustration. In an MPO field, you can't win a tournament in the first round, but you can definitely lose it. And when you're already this far back, this early on, you know you got to start putting some birdies up on the board. So you have a little nature appreciation moment. Look at that lake. Hole 12 is a 620-foot par 4. Ignore what the picture says. It is actually a par 4. Mando to the left of this tree. That prevents players from just going hyzer all the way to the basket. There is a golf fairway on the right side that is flagged off as out of bounds for the whole way. And the real danger is there is forest wooded madness off to the left the whole length of the hole. So what you want to do is try to stay in the fairway. Sometimes easier said than done, as we have Adrian taking the forehand. This surprises me a little. I would kind of expect him to just do a big backhand hyzer to the Mando to start with. That's looking pretty fantastic. Tad also liking the forehand play. I must be missing something here. Tad gets caught up a little. Oh no.
Don't roll right behind it. Alright, we're out.
Rolls out. No longer directly behind the tree. That might have actually helped him a little. He'll have a pretty clear opening. Aren going the more traditional play. Hyzer out over the out of bounds. Skip.
Ooh, great shot.
That's probably about the perfect position. We'll see what Nick does here. Lining up. Lefty hyzer. A little hyzer flip.
Yeah. Good shot.
And that nestles in fine as well.
Hopefully I can stand heavy.
Is there any OB up by the basket here? Or?
Not really.
Not really? Okay.
There is OB way right.
Okay.
It
Benefit
shouldn't
of
really come into play.
the TD being the cameraman. Tad
This
asking
golf
for a
fairway
little
goes
advice on the
along, but
hole.
It's pretty far over there. Like if you're near
It's
the
not
basket,
against the
you're not
rules
gonna be
as
able
we
to-
wait for the chase card to clear away from the basket.
Theoretically.
It's a little bonus footage.
Don't cut roller.
Yeah, good
All right, now that they're out of the way, Tad Carlson's going to step up, the first of our second throws on this par 4. It's up. Maybe a little overturned. Didn't get the fight back he wanted, so he's going to have maybe 70 feet to the basket for his third shot. Discussion of who's next, but Nick's going to step up. Little tree direction. Beautifully placed right by the basket. If you're Nick Reliford, you should probably hug that tree at some point. Aren, from where he's at, he does have the ability to go a little hyzer. And it works out perfectly for him. He's all the way up by the pin. So now we see Adrian a little more pinched off. Has to go the forehand approach shot to avoid the mandatory. Probably his yarn, looks like. And we get some more tree love. Trees helping out the players on the hole today. Let's see what Tad can do. Nice little up and down. He's probably about 100 feet out, so there's no shame in just taking your par. We're just going to go around the horn here, I think. There's Aren with the first of the birdies. Nick is real close. All right, just like that, Tad finds himself as the only par on the card. Adrian now all the way to 7 under. As we step to hole 13, par 3, 340 foot. The real trick here is the out of bounds that curves in and around, kind of like a big figure 8 or a snowman, to where it looks like the inbounds is out of bounds from the tee, actually is in. You can go big hyzer, big forehand hyzer, backhand. You can go straight at it. Adrian is going yarn hyzer. Most normal humans, it is hard to throw a yarn anywhere.
No.
How about a 350-foot park job? Aren going the more direct approach.
Yeah, stay there.
This is looking nice.
Yeah, beautiful shot. Nice one.
As that sets down right by the basket. Lefty hyzer should play just fine. He's left that a little outside. And watch that skips in. It's over by the cart path, but that is plenty in bounds. He'll have a putt for his 2. And Tad stepping up with the forehand, so we'll have seen 4 different lines at this hole. Four fairly similar results as Tad getting a little roll. But he still should be within 15 to 20 feet of the basket. Nick with the longest of the putts. Birdie for Nick, who fights his way back to even again. Had an up and down front 9. Has to feel a little frustrated because he's been getting plenty of birdies. There has just been a few mistakes here and there that have cost him.
He's like landing right in line with it. So I kinda
Dow with the birdie. Great
Wait till
putt.
I'm done filming this.
So you can see Adrian right next to the basket. Tad stepping up. Carlson with the birdie, and we are probably looking at Our first star frame of the day. Birdies all around. No strokes gained or lost on each other, but probably a few gained on the field, as that hole was playing pretty easily today, actually. A lot of birds. We move on to hole 14, the second longest hole on the course, 700-foot par 4. The real trick, this basket is surrounded by a kind of peninsula of out of bounds. There is an OB sidewalk along the right the whole way. It doesn't really come into play unless you majorly turn over your drive. So the real key, again, is getting as far as you can off the tee and then having a controlled second shot.
Pretty good.
Adrian's way up there. Aren caught a little bit of that tree, I think. So that ate up some of his distance, but he's out in the fairway.
Yeah, you me. Roll it on purpose.
See what Nick does. It's ripped.
Great. He's going to throw, go in the basket one,
And it's up there. Tad is throwing a Vulcan here, which is not a disc that I know of too many people who throw. He says it's super flippy, so it's an easy roller disc, easy huge Annie. He's going for the big Annie flex. It didn't entirely work out. But all these players are in the fairway. Big grip from Aren. Little early, a little much hyzer, but that tree gobbles him up. That's going to leave him probably 60 or 70 feet. Nick, it should just be a hyzer. Oh no. A little bit yanked. As he just barely finds himself in the out of bounds. A little more skip, a little less angle. That probably finds its way back in, but instead he's going to be taking it from over by the cart path. Tad going for the forehand approach. This looks a little cooked. Skip.
Perfect Berg X distance.
Tad Carlson looking like he knows how to throw a forehand approach shot today, because that's a few hard par 4s that he is cleaning up on. Adrian, if we've seen a theme here, this is Bergax. Let's see that again. Right by the basket. Beautifully done. Making a very difficult hole look pretty easy.
Do it.
Aren tries to get the birdie.
I won't look up there and say.
Great attempt. So this will be Nick for his par. Gave it a bid. The up and down is going to continue for Reliford. Aren makes good on the par. Let's see who's closer. Bogey for Nick. A few more frustrations. I know he'll work on it. He'll work on cleaning up whatever it was today. Things are not looking in his favor right now. As Tad and Adrian get to basically tap in birdies. Bergax. That's the way to go. Hole 15. Par 3. 275 feet. Pretty uphill, so it probably plays closer to 300 feet. One of the easier holes, not too many obstacles, definitely reachable for most of the field. I mean, both professional and amateur. I imagine everyone on the professional field can reach this. OB sidewalk along the right side, but there's no mandatory or anything, so you could go for the hyzer or the forehand.
Yeah,
Out left is more or less wide open. So So it really encourages the forehand play or the big Anheuser. Trying to make you mix up your shot selection if you're the kind of person who's throwing the same kind of shots all the time.
Go right hard. Go right.
Ted gets it a little turned again, but he'll have a putt. You see Aren going pretty quickly.
Ooh, worked out.
Yeah. So going.
It's up there. It'll be short. Nick just launching it. Probably about a step and a half closer than Tad. Let's see who can make good. A little bit of a putting contest today. Aren from circle 2. Nothing. And you can tell he's feeling it. Lots of birdie opportunities today, and just nothing quite getting the height, not quite finding the chains. He's been doing a good job to avoid the bogeys, but there's been probably at least 2 or 3 strokes better he could have been. Tad also finding the cage. Nick steps up.
Adrian, watch out for the cage. Watch out for the cage on this one.
Oh, I'm gonna jump put this one in the band actually.
Adrian.
Good too.
Only birdie on the hole for this card.
I feel like
Finds
honestly, we
himself
haven't been
at
playing the
10 under par. Hole 16. This was one of the hardest holes on the course for the weekend. Par 4, 650 feet. Key is to get down in this area here and just throw up to the basket. As is tradition, there is out of bounds on the right side and the left side. You definitely don't want to throw it onto Veterans Parkway. Don't throw it on the sidewalk left. Just get it down this tunnel out into the open.
That was good timing. Worked out.
That's a little low out of Adrian, but it's up there.
The honking and you running up wasn't ideal.
Hello. Adrian's got friends everywhere.
Tad.
Ooh, get on that.
Oh, darn it.
That might be OB.
And that's going to kick him straight out of bounds. Just another couple feet forward. He
Car
would have
pass,
stayed
but I think
in.
it stops.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
I mean,
It wasn't good regardless, everybody.
You see Aren get a little cut roll, but it basically sat right where he hit the ground.
That made 4 guys are taking that shot, yeah.
And here we have Nick. This hole should set up pretty well for a lefty, as you can basically just hyzer flip as far as you can and just let it fade out anywhere. This is a little high.
Where'd it go?
That got down there. I think it got eaten up by one of the bigger trees. So here we have Tad taking his meter. So he's got a long way to go. And he won't even be able to do a run-up, really, because he's got to watch how his feet set. That's a pretty good rip from what he was allotted. Oh, no.
Did I go out?
He finds the double out of bounds, just fades a tiny little bit too much. Just barely trickles off into the sidewalk.
Oh.
Nick giving it a good rip. Aren taking a look. He's just going to hyzer it up, get about as far as he can.
How close is the sidewalk? Like really close?
It's less close to the left as last year, but it's more close to behind it.
Oh, okay.
But more room on the right.
Basket guarded by trees and out of bounds. And that looked pretty good. Let's see this from another angle. Not sure if he's throwing a berg again, but either way, he's really challenging that OB. Highs are up and over. And that's going to leave him maybe a 25-foot putt. We have Tad. Again, taking his meter. Forehand up shot. The wheels are falling off for Tad a little bit this hole. Maybe making his own life a little harder, but out of bounds is never going to feel good. It's always going to rattle you a little, especially when you know you're competing. Let's see what Aren's got for us. That should do. That's a putt. And that was Nick's birdie look. He should be up there for a pretty easy par.
Around the horn?
Yeah, I think you.
The discussion of whose turn, as we'll see Adrian putt first. Oh, and he hits the band. I guess that's better than going out of bounds, but after that great second shot, you really would have liked to have capitalized. This is Tad for bogey, I believe. Double bogey. That's right, because the two OBs. That's really going to hurt the scoreboard. Aren cleans up his par. Real nice putt there. Nick in for par. Adrian, par. Hole 17. 250 feet. This hole should be easy, but for some reason it plays kind of hard. There's out of bounds right past the basket that gets in your head more than anything. You definitely don't want to go blazing past it. There is an out of bounds bunker early to the right, but this division, that probably isn't really coming into play. Sort of a situation where you know you can reach it, but you don't want to overthrow it and go OB. So you're seeing Adrian come up a little bit short there. I think Aren came up a little short. Nick, that looked a little sawed off. Probably just a putter though, flying nice and straight. That's very short. So far, I think the closest putt is maybe about 30 feet on this 250-foot hole. Tad going the forehand play. I'm a big fan of this. A little skip. And I think that's going to be the best look of all of them. Let's see this again. Same orange disc. He keeps getting a little bit of turn, a little bit of fade, a little bit of skip. You know he's going to like that. Adrian, like 50 feet. No dice. As we see Nick from just a little bit closer. Solid bid, but that's just going to come up a smidge short. Aren with what looks to be about 30 to 35 foot. Good bid, just a little low.
Nice, dude.
And Tad finds himself as the only birdie on the card. And we will stroll on in to hole 18. 800-foot par 4. Downhill, out of bounds sidewalk all the way down on the left, out of bounds fence on the right, out of bounds creek, out of bounds green, out of bounds sand trap, out of bounds parking lot. Huge fairway, A lot of distance between the tee and the green. And here we have some bonus footage.
That's a
Caught up
smash.
with the chase card.
That is a smash.
That's Colin
Bonus
Thompson
footage.
from Team ISU. Big smash. Here we've got Chris Reliford. This is actually Nick's little brother. They all took up the sport about the same time, and all of them throw pretty great. They have a little brother, Frankie Reliford, who is also competing.
You put it down like it's behind his mini and stuff.
I might be mistaken. Chris might be the youngest.
That is a smash.
That is absolutely smashed. He knows it. That's so far down there.
He's got hit a tree.
Elijah Miller, local Bloomington Normal Disc Golf Club president. Got this little overturn.
Turn up.
He was not feeling it today. I know he ended up DNFing. But it was nice to see him come out and play, so thank you to the club president for competing. Who is this? What is Ryan Stills? That's out there. And we will return to our feature card. Tad Carlson, after taking the birdie on 17, steps up. Decent rip out of Tad. Starting to fade.
Roll all the way down to the bottom of the hill.
Skip.
Keep going.
And this golf fairway, it plays very fast. So you usually get a big skip. You usually get a little bit of a roll. Adrian trying to put a smash. That is overturned. Should still be okay. Aren, a little bit of a hyzer flip. And Nick, does he go for a roller again? Big Annie. Somewhere between a roller and a flex shot. A little less or a little more, and that thing might have been all the way down the hill. Second shot. A little short, a little right. He'll have probably 100-ish foot up shot. Adrian can see the basket, probably 500 feet away. Downhill run-up, which can lead to some unfortunate timing. Looking pretty good. Oh. The skip, the trickle. And he finds himself just barely inside the sand trap. Aren's catches this tree, drops down. He's out of bounds. Tad going big hyzer, trying to get up and over. He also catches tree, but fortunately drops in inbounds just a couple feet from the sidewalk. So here's where they've given Aren his lie. He might even be in the water. I believe it was decided he hit the tree and kicked back into the creek. Something like that. This is not great footing. This is a very difficult stance under the bridge. That is beautifully done. That is an excellent shot from his position. Tad steps up, jump putt, and he's up there. He'll have a pretty easy look for his par. Here's where Nick ended off to the right. That's a nice shot. Adrian. After the OB stroke. Almost saves the par. That will be his only bogey of the round. Great putt out of Nick. Bogey for Aren. He's going to find himself 1 under par. Clean up for Tad. That'll be a par. He's going to end his round at 4 under. And Adrian with the bogey drops him to -9. And that'll do it for the first round. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We'll be working on round 2. We'll get that to you as soon as we can, where you'll be seeing Adrian Chevalier, Chris Reliford, Tad Carlson, and Colin Thompson. We just saw moments ago in the bonus footage. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in round 2.